Yusei Kikuchi was expected to be one of the best gets for a contender at this year's deadline, and he still very well may be that. However, Houston Astros fans are not happy with what they had to give up to acquire the left-handed Japanese pitcher, and I don't blame them. They had to pay a premium. This is a seller's market this year, and the Blue Jays should take advantage. But let's react to some of the fans who had a lot of choice words for general manager Dana Brown. We'll have that and much more on this episode of 3 Up, 3 Down. What's up, everybody? Welcome into 3 Up, 3 Down. I'm your host, Peter Vryonis. Today we're going to be talking about the absolute highway robbery that Ross Atkins and the Blue Jays front office committed on Houston and Dana Brown. Now, this trade was expected to go down. We weren't expecting the return that the Blue Jays got. However, Yusei Kikuchi was pretty much a foregone conclusion that he was going to get traded. And when teams make it known that they are going to trade a guy, it typically diminishes the return, but not in this case. And I hope you're all enjoying the Olympics, but that's not the only madness that has been going on. The trade deadline is just about 4.5 hours away, so I will keep you up to date on everything that you need to know when it comes to the MLB deadline. And I'll have a second video today recapping everything that happened and some of the big moves and some of the last minute moves that we may see on the day. But the first one that I want to focus on is this absolute monstrosity that went down last night between the Houston Astros and the Toronto Blue Jays. Now, it was originally reported by Ben Nicholson-Smith. The Blue Jays are getting Jake Bloss, Joey Loperfido, and Will Wagner for Yusei Kikuchi. Sources tell Shai Davidi and myself. And the deal was done. And then Aram Layton of the Just Baseball podcast, one of my favorite baseball minds out there in social media, he said, "Holy crap. This might be the steepest overpay of the deadline so far by Houston. Ross Atkins might be saving his job here. Absurd value for a rental starter." Now, I don't necessarily agree with the second part of that statement where Ross Atkins might be saving his job, because he's the reason why they are in this situation in the first place. He's the reason why they are a retooling team, I should say, when they had World Series aspirations coming into the year. He failed to deliver on his promises in the offseason. He failed to build a team that was good enough to compete for a World Series. And here we are now as Blue Jay fans. We're stuck at the deadline where we have to sell off assets that are going to be expiring at the end of the year because there is no hope for the playoffs. So Ross Atkins is for sure to blame for the situation that has transpired in Toronto. But as regards to his deadline and the way that he's handled all of these trades that he's made, and I'm talking about the Nate Pearson one, I'm talking about the Jimmy Garcia trade, as well as the Yusei Kikuchi, and he's just nailed each and every deal that he's had to make this offseason. The Justin Turner deal as well has been a really nice trade deadline piece. So the Blue Jays have totally restocked their farm system. They have yet to get top 50 prospects around Major League Baseball, but I doubt that's going to happen, especially considering the reports coming out today that they're not going to be looking to get rid of Chad Green or Isaiah Kiner-Falefa, which I believe to be is a huge mistake. But the reaction that I want to get to is stuff like this, and John Becker said this: Bloss alone is too much to give up for Kikuchi. Loperfido alone is probably too much to give up for Kikuchi. To get both and a guy performing well in AAA is just fantastic work by the Jays. And then there was this tweet here from Johnny Junta of the Gate 14 podcast: Yusei Kikuchi deserves a statue in Toronto based off what the Blue Jays got for him. Holy shit. Holy shit were my exact words when I realized what the Blue Jays got in return for 2 months of Yusei Kikuchi. Now, I understand it's a seller's market, and teams are sometimes desperate to address their starting rotations at the deadline, but this is an overpay that I did not see coming, and we'll revisit that package again. Jake Bloss is now the number 3 prospect in the Blue Jays system. Joey Loperfido, once he comes to Toronto, I guarantee that he's going to be an everyday player. And Will Wagner has an OPS of 1,000 in AAA. Even though his tools don't really stand out, he's got fantastic baseball IQ from everything that I've read about him. And his bat-to-ball skills are really good. So he's got a potential to be a utility guy and work his way up to the big leagues. And he's also the son of Billy Wagner, who was a Hall of Fame closer for the Houston Astros. So I really believe that the Blue Jays did well here. And this is another reaction from an Astros reporter, I believe. The Astros have to get a failed physical in this trade somewhere. Sorry, Yusei Kikuchi has one fingernail longer than the other. Can't do it. Blow the trade up. Don't do it, Dana. So fans have really rallied together, and I'm talking about Astro fans, and they are not happy with Dana Brown and his decision to trade away 3 prospects, 3 almost major league ready players for 2 months of Yusei Kikuchi. Now, it could help them out. It could definitely lead them to a place that Jake Bloss maybe would not have been able to lead them to, and that's totally understandable. They needed some rotation help with all the injuries and all the underperformances that they've had this year. But I don't know if Kikuchi was necessarily that answer, and I feel like they could have definitely aimed higher considering the package that they gave up to get him. I feel like that package would have been able to land you a Jack Flaherty, or maybe if you added in a couple more pieces, you could have got Jack Flaherty. So I don't know. This is just a real puzzling move to me by the Houston Astros. And I get it. They're trying to win right now. They're trying to keep this window open for as long as they can, but this is just not the way you do it. And that's evident by this. Baseball trade value is not always accurate, but Yusei Kikuchi, a $4.9 million surplus trade value in exchange for Jake Bloss with a $9.2 million, Joey Loperfido $6.1, and Will Wagner $2.0 million. The deal is rejected by our model as an overpay by Houston. Now, it's definitely an overpay. No one is denying that, but the way that it went down, I really think Houston could have done better in their pursuit of a starting pitcher. And I think Ross Atkins did the best that he could have. I would have waited up until the deadline, but if that was the offer that was staring me right in the face, there is no way that I'm saying no to that. Loperfido has huge power potential, and he's going to be an everyday guy once he gets activated by the Blue Jays. Jake Bloss is already their number 3 prospect, and that just shows you how bad the Blue Jays farm system is. But that's a top 100 prospect that they just added to their repertoire that they did not have previously. And considering the way that the season has gone for Relvis Martinez and Ricky Tiedemann, their top 2 prospects, adding Jake Bloss in the mix kind of softens that blow. But you still want to see him put together a healthy season and build up his innings so he can be a rotation guy for you as soon as next season. And I think the Blue Jays, that's what their goal is. But it's been a great deadline for them, A++ in my opinion. Now the only thing left to do is to trade Isaiah Kiner-Falefa and to trade Chad Green and then work from there. I think you've done a great job if you're Ross Atkins and restocking your farm system, but there is more that can be done. So that's what I'm looking out for. But that'll wrap it up for this episode of 3 Up, 3 Down. I will see you later today, and I will have sort of a general recap video on what happened and some of the biggest moves that we saw closer to the deadline. But that'll wrap it up. Thank you guys so much for making it this far. Make sure to hit the subscribe button, hit the like button as well, and give me your thoughts on this trade, maybe from a Blue Jay perspective, from an Astros perspective, or even if you want from a neutral perspective. How do you view this deal that went down late last night? Let me know in the comments down below. And also check out baseballtown.ca for everything that you need when it comes to baseball equipment, softball equipment, whether it's bats, gloves, batting gloves, cleats. They got you covered. The best equipment at the most competitive prices. Check out baseballtown.ca today. And thank you for watching. I'll see you later today.